night.
All right.
Here we go.
Here we go. Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Is it afternoon? 12:13.
so.
You're right.
I've missed us.
Speaking of which, I have to take a sip of my Celsius.
Yep. Well, speaking of the afternoon.
Our first official sponsor is Celsius Energy drinks.
Congratulations.
I wish.
Yeah.
It'd be great. I'd love free Celsiuses for life.
Never had one.
Never? Do you want to sip?
No, I'm okay.
Okay. What do you said you had something in your cup?
It's my Relight. Remember the sodium electrolyte mix? I thought it feels so great. And then I found out it was like tons of caffeine. But then I fact checked it. It's not. There are some that have caffeine in them.
Okay.
Not the one that I do.
Were you the one who told me about the Yuka app?
Yeah.
Okay. I like Yuka.
Me too.
It's for anybody who doesn't know. You scan a label and it tells you the health factors of anything.
Yeah.
Have you ever scanned something and they got a 0 out of 100? What was it?
Recently there was a what was it? I think it was a sunscreen.
Okay. Because you use it for like beauty products as well.
I use it for I mean, yes, I do for beauty, skincare, and then food.
Nice.
Yeah.
I use it just for food. I scanned a Chick-fil-A sauce. Zero health benefits of Chick-fil-A sauce. Only negatives. It's so good though.
I mean,
I wish it got like a 1, you know?
Like, and I feel like what they should do is give you some, like, because what they'll say is suggestions for you, or why they explain why it's bad. Try this instead. What they might offer is in moderation.
Right.
You know, like.
But I'm not a moderation dipper kind of person. I'm dipping, I'm drenching my chicken nugget or fries.
What's your go-to from Chick-fil-A? What's your order?
Spicy deluxe, spicy chicken sandwich.
Okay.
And then just fries.
Yeah.
I mean, the salads are great.
I love the
market salad, Cobb salad's great. The fried chicken within the salad. Yeah.
Yep.
That's great. You can't
we like the breakfast there. There's a breakfast scramble bowl.
Yeah.
And it's hash browns, chicken, and eggs with melted cheese.
Yeah.
That with a little Chick-fil-A sauce. Yuka hates it, but I love it.
Sometimes you just gotta ignore Yuka, you know?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Oftentimes they give me a bad rating, and when I look, it's like too many calories, too much sodium. Our family actually likes sodium, so we're like, we don't worry about that.
Yeah.
And then the calories just depends what I'm eating. Is it worth it?
I'm getting to the point with my bike training that I am hungry all the time.
Sure.
I literally, and this same thing happened last year with Ironman training.
Yeah.
Is I was just like, I got to the point where I was working out a lot, so I'm always hungry.
Yeah.
And I cannot. It's insatiable.
Are you like carb loading? I feel like you should be eating a lot of carbs.
I'm just eating a lot.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm eating a lot. I'm working out a lot and just, fueling my body.
And you said less than 2 weeks.
Less than 2 weeks. I'm, I think, 12 days away from the STP.
I could have sworn the last time we chatted, we had 2 months. It's a group effort. We are training for this.
Okay, so it's the first day of July.
Yeah.
And usually on the first day of the month, I announce a new challenge.
Yeah.
And for this month, I've thought a lot about it the last few days, and I've decided not to do a challenge.
Okay.
And here's why. So I have STP in 12 days.
Every time you say STP, I feel like it's something else.
Seattle to Portland.
I know.
STP. And then I'm hiking the Enchantments this month.
Oh, what is that for?
Just for fun. Yeah.
Okay, because my friend Eleanor is doing an Enchantments hike, but it's for a fundraiser.
Oh, that's right. Okay, I think she's doing it the day before I am.
Oh,
because
crazy.
we messaged on Instagram about
fun.
it. Yeah, so the Enchantments is also in July.
Okay.
And then I'm doing potentially the Seafair Triathlon this month because I've done that the last 2 years. This one I'm not 100% on. Yeah, it's a short one. It's a sprint triathlon, so it's shorter. It's not like the Ironman. It's a lot shorter.
Okay.
But it's a half-mile swim, a 14-mile bike ride, and a 5K run.
Oh,
so
okay.
It's kind of like an entry-level triathlon, but I've done the same one the last 2 years. The very first triathlon I did 2 years ago when I went into it, cold or not, whatever, zero training.
Right.
That was this one. And I did it again last year and it was a lot better. And then I'm planning on doing it again this year.
Man,
so
all in the same month.
All in July. And they're kind of like, I think it might be 3 weekends in a row. So it's the STP and then the Seafair Triathlon and then the Enchantments back to back to back. So I'm like, I'm not going to try to introduce some other challenge.
July is like survive. Get to August.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
I was pitching a few challenges to Brian and he's like, just don't. He's like, what do you think? Just save those for another month.
Yeah.
You're already
How did you feel like June went?
Well.
June was like a health focus.
Yeah. I actually stepped on the scale this morning.
Yeah.
And I was expecting to weigh less than I weigh.
Okay.
Because basically for the month of June, I did try to eat a balanced diet for the most part. I had no desserts, which is always my kryptonite. Zero desserts. And I feel like I do notice a difference in my physique, which was what I was hoping for.
Okay.
I feel a little bit more muscular, a little bit less fat around the stomach.
Yeah.
And I was expecting that to result in less weight.
Right.
And I weigh more today than I did a month ago, which was kind of interesting.
But muscle is more than fat.
They say that.
I've heard that. That's my problem.
So that's your problem. That's why you weigh so much.
That's why I'm just bulking up. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna put the scale in the garage and just I don't
like
care.
that.
It means nothing to me.
I actually like that.
Yeah.
And to me, like finding that healthy balance too, like how do you feel?
Yeah.
Like do you feel more energized? Do you feel like good?
Yes.
Yeah.
But as I was getting to the end of yesterday, June 30th, I already was craving desserts.
Oh, interesting.
I already because I knew that it was in, something I could start doing again if I wanted to.
Yeah.
So I was really craving the Met Market cookie yesterday.
That's a good one.
Really craving it. So I might get that today.
I think you've earned it.
I think so.
Add that to your carb list because you're burning so many calories.
A lot of calories. I burned like 5,000 calories the other day.
My gosh.
Isn't that crazy?
I actually don't know if that's even possible.
On Saturday. And on the STP day, I'll probably burn over 10,000 calories. So I'll be eating all day. Like I'll just, every hour when I stop at all the different stops, I'll be just shoveling.
Just like backpack full of Met cookies.
Just that's my whole diet.
Yeah.
That'd be a funny video.
What, where are you at as far as how many miles have you gone? What's the furthest you've gone now?
80 miles.
Okay.
And I did
not quite half.
Not quite half.
Okay.
I did 75 this weekend on Friday.
Okay.
And that's the farthest I'm gonna go. I'm not doing any farther before in the next 12 days. I've read a bunch of different stuff online. And it's like 2 weeks before you shouldn't be doing long rides. Like you should be kind of maintaining but not doing anything crazy. So yeah.
And do a lot of people train just the halfway point? I'm sorry.
Not even the halfway point.
I'm just curious because I feel like that's a lot.
Yeah. So
that's a lot more to ride.
I feel like so like on Friday when I rode when I did the 75 miles, I felt like I could have kept going if I had
just as much and then more. Like you could have done it twice.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
If I had more food. The problem is timing. Like and when I start my bike rides, I start around like 10 a.m. usually.
Yeah.
So it's like 5 p.m. by the time I'm done, and I'm like, I just want to be done.
Yeah.
I just going into this day on the STP day. It starts at 5 a.m. So I'll start super early in the morning, and I have it until 9 p.m. that day to ride. So I'll just be riding all day.
Okay.
Like I have a lot more time. I'll just keep going. And again, I'm not putting too much pressure on myself.
Good.
If I don't finish it the first day, I'll finish it the second day.
Yeah.
I'll be fine.
Yeah.
I was feeling stressed about it. In this present moment, I'm feeling okay.
Well, and the thing is like worst case scenario.
I just don't do it.
You won't die. I mean,
hopefully not.
Hopefully not.
Yeah.
But you know,
if I do, I've lived a great life. I'm really happy with the life that I've lived.
Bummed.
You'd be bummed.
It'd really be a disappointment if you didn't come back from this.
I'm glad you'd be bummed. It's good to hear.
Oh man.
Anyway, how are you?
Oh, I honestly, I don't know what date it is. I don't know.
July 1st.
Like
we're halfway through 2024.
Okay. Yeah. So that's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's been, last time we chatted, I was telling you my in-laws were coming that day.
That day,
It's been 2 weeks.
It's been 2 weeks.
So my brother-in-law and his family, and then my mom and dad-in-law, the 6 of them all came on that Monday that we chatted.
Okay.
And then my brother-in-law and his family of 4 left this last Friday. So 4 days ago or whatever. And so it's been a bit of a like whirlwind of having family in town and just doing, every day we're doing something with the family.
Yeah.
And there was a few moments where I was a little bit like, it just to change up your routine and your day to day so drastically. I realized like I think I'm a little bit of a control freak.
Yeah.
I did not realize. I always used to think I'm like, go with the flow, like so easygoing. I don't think I'm that easygoing.
Some good self-awareness.
It was somebody else told me that I was chatting with a friend. She was like, it's actually good that you can say that out loud. Yeah.
So I'm sorry, but they've been staying with you the whole time?
Well, so my brother-in-law and his family stayed at our duplex.
Right. Okay.
Which is like a 10-minute drive from us. And then my parents-in-law, how do you say that? What is the right term?
Your in-laws.
Just my in-laws.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about the parents because my in-laws.
I think if you say your in-laws, that implies the parents. I think. I don't know.
Okay.
Or you could say my mother and father-in-law.
So formal.
Parents-in-law, I don't think is right.
And you know what? Have I ever told you a story about like what they call them? Because you know they're from South Africa.
Let me guess. No, I don't want to guess.
Mom. They will call her. No, they actually don't call her mom. It's Gorks, Gork.
Who's Gorks?
Is grandma, and then Bups, Baps.
This is what your daughters call.
This is what the whole family calls my mother-in-law.
Gorks.
Gorksy is like grandma in Zulu or Africa. So, you know, they're in Africa. I think it's Zulu. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So when I am like this straight up California American chick shows up to this lovely British accent South African family, and they're all like, Gorksy. It's like, sounds lovely. And I'm here like, Gorks. Like, the worst thing. It was so hard for me in the beginning. I would just say and like everybody would like give me a little bit of.
Do you use an accent when you say it?
No,
you say Gorks.
Say Gorks.
Hey Gorks.
Yep. And I just kind of say
and they're saying Gorksy.
Soften it a bit when I say
Gorks.
it. Yeah,
it's a tough one. That's a hard word. It's a hard word for a non-accented person.
It's a really interesting dynamic, and they call Chad Boomps.
Boomps.
Boomps. Boomps.
You got Gorks, Boomps, and what's the third one?
Bups.
Bups.
Yeah. Bups is easy. Bups I can say all day long.
What's up, Bups?
I don't call Chad Boomps, and I don't call him Chad. I usually call him like Lovey. Yeah. So it's really weird when I'm like referring to him, and I'm like Chad, and they're like, who? It's interesting. So just a little taste of my last 10 days. But what was really fun, we got to go to Anderson Island. Your parents offered us property out there.
Hold on. I heard the story.
What?
I heard about the golf cart.
Oh.
Were you on the golf cart?
I was not on it, but I heard it was just the boys.
Oh, okay.
So there's my nephews were here. So it was my brother-in-law, father-in-law, 2 nephews, and Chad. So 5 of them.
And they broke down, right?
They broke down.
Like mid-ride?
Yeah. Hadn't been gone for long.
And what do they have to do? They have to pull it back?
I think they did something where they had I think they had to push it or pull it. There was some on foot stuff.
Yeah.
I think your dad FaceTimed them. I honestly didn't get all the information. Okay. So you probably know more than I do.
I just heard, I think I was with my dad when he found out that the golf cart had broken down. And we were just like,
oh, that's hilarious. Oh yeah, because you guys were in Woodinville.
Yes.
I'm excited to hear that. Yeah, while they were on that whole shenanigans, Stella.
I'm sorry, who was on it? It was Bumps and Bups.
And my brother-in-law's Shugs. It's so I should New News is my when you say it out loud, it's like it's too much. This can't be real. Yeah. New News and Peanut are my nephews. So,
do they have a nickname for you yet? Or
no. No. I don't even know how that happened. My children don't have nicknames. It's like just them. Like the other girl nieces, they don't have weird nicknames. Yeah.
Okay.
So, Booms, Bops, Shugs, Peanut, and Noo-Noos were on the golf cart. And it broke down. Meanwhile,
I breathe. I'm sorry.
Meanwhile, I'm walking. He's leaving.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, I haven't laughed that hard in a while. Okay, we're back.
Meanwhile, I'm walking. How did it happen? Stella got loose
on the
island,
okay.
And I am chasing her down the beach. I went as far as you could go on the beach.
Which way?
Okay, so I left the property. I went to the left.
Okay,
and I went all the way down.
Yeah,
and it was awful, but I got her back.
How did you get it back?
Do you know what I found? Like, it looked like a rib bone. I don't know what it was on the ground. I kept following her. I could tell she was getting tired. She's going in and out of the water. And I grabbed this rib bone off the rocks and like bribed her. It's like, treat. Got her to come back.
Nice.
Like, grabbed her. So yeah, when I got back to the house, the guys were all huffing and puffing. I was huffing and puffing.
Yeah.
Stella. So it was a bit of a chaotic moment. But I will just to say, Anderson Island, so great, so peaceful. You can't.
Based on those 2 things alone, Stella getting out.
Beyond that chaos, it's just such a beautiful property.
Yeah.
I've never gone when it's just us there. Like usually we're with you guys, and so it was just a little bit different to be like, oh, like Yeah, and it's just
I love going out there like just with Brian or just with the small family unit, and it's just so peaceful. You can just
I could sit on that
do
back
nothing.
deck and just read a book we did 2 puzzles.
Nice.
Like
It's a good puzzle place.
It's a great puzzle place. We went to the little music at Johnson Farm one day. Cool. Excuse me. And that was it just people watching.
Yeah.
Extreme, just Anderson Island locals.
Yeah.
Dancing it up. It makes me wonder, like, who lives here?
Apparently like 1,000 people live there, which I don't know.
And then a lot of vacation people like you guys.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting crowd.
It is, for sure.
Yeah.
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 It's kind of like a step back in time a little bit.
A little bit.
Wow, I'm having a really hard time regaining my composure here. That was...
There's going to be a test at the end of this.
I'm not going to. I know Shugs and I got... Oh my gosh. Okay, so you went to Anderson Island. What else did you do? Have you done with the fam?
We did. Okay, so they're golf obsessed.
Yeah.
They literally golfed every day, sometimes twice a day.
Wow.
While his brother was here. My oldest nephew is not as into golf as the rest, and he actually took Piper. That's new.
As you're telling these stories, I'm gonna just be wanting to know their names.
His real name's Caden. But
okay.
We call him Nunus.
Nunus.
He really likes rock climbing, and he took Piper rock climbing to this indoor gym, and she fell in love with it.
Nice.
It was really, really sweet because he's the oldest, she's the youngest. He's like 6'2". I don't even know how tall she is. Tiny.
Was it the one off 6th Ave?
Yeah, Edgeworks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Have you done that?
I've been a couple times. Yeah.
Okay,
it's cool.
It's really cool. They have like a whole gym in there and other stuff. So it's just so sweet to watch him teach her how to do things, and he works at a climbing gym. He lives in Tennessee, so he's just so good with kids, and it was really, really endearing to like watch this little friendship there. So they did that a couple times. The guys went golfing a bunch. We took them into Seattle one day and did the M-Pop Museum.
Nice.
I had not been
I've never done that, actually.
I actually really enjoyed it.
Was it cool?
I would love to go back. A few of the exhibits were closed.
Okay.
But it's like there's a lot of fun music interactive things.
Yeah. So it's a museum of like pop
culture and music.
Okay.
Yeah. I really enjoyed it.
Did you get good weather that day?
We did have really nice weather, actually.
Did you walk around Seattle Center and stuff?
A little bit. Like, we kind of cruised around. Like, there's a playground behind the Space Needle. Yeah. We kind of did that. We went and got coffee. But we weren't there super long. Like, we didn't go down to typical tourist stuff we didn't really do. And then we just did like a few little, like, took them to like Highlands Golf Course and had, hung out there while the guys did their little 9 holes and had, we really didn't really do a ton outside of our house while my brother-in-law, they're a little bit more homebody. And so we would just kind of cook at home and grill, and, kids could swim or play. I feel like somehow it flew by. It seemed like 10 days was going to feel like forever, and then it's already come and gone.
Yeah.
And now
was it a sad goodbye when they left?
I mean, I feel like the nice thing with his brother is like he lives in the States, so we can see it. The hardest is when mom and dad leave.
Yeah.
Because it's like they're flying back to South Africa. We don't have another trip planned.
Yeah. You see him usually like every 2 years on average?
We try. There was definitely a break during COVID.
Yeah.
But yeah, the last time we saw them was about 18 months ago. We went there for Christmas.
Okay.
So it wasn't that long. And after
that feels like a long time though. That's a good amount of
especially
time.
Especially like you and I, we see our parents every week, and so I think for Chad it's hard. And as they're getting older, and he's just like, I just want to get as much time with him as I can.
Yeah.
And then now that it's just his parents, we're kind of a little bit getting more back into like the rhythm of life. And we've got our, so my brother-in-law was staying at the duplex, and now we're using it as an Airbnb for the rest of the summer.
Cool.
So we went over and we like flipped all the beds and cleaned it out, and they were super helpful there. And then we went and walked down to Landers, which is, it might be one of my favorite coffee shops.
Yeah.
I like their coffee is so good.
It's good.
It's really nice. Took them there. And then we've just been doing little, like, we went out to Gig Harbor with them and went out to lunch and, just trying little pockets. We took them to the dog park in Lakewood the other day with Stella, who also got out again at my house. And we had a plan. Chad had to go to this trophy store in Lakewood to grab a plaque. And so he's like, I have to get there by a certain time. Why don't we make it an afternoon outing? We'll take the dogs and we'll go to the park. We'll grab coffee, blah, blah, blah. And then she got loose, and had an awkward exchange with a neighbor who like had her. I saw the neighbor like a few houses up, and Stella was right by her. She had like a bowl or something. She was giving her water or treats. And I was trying to like yell from afar, like, please, can you grab her collar? Because if I get close, Stella bolts.
She bolts, yeah.
So I was trying to get her attention. And as the lady turns, she's like, what? I'm like, please, can you grab her collar? Stella runs for it. But I mean, she came back eventually. This neighbor actually caught her. She came back to her again. I was like, her name is Sherry. I've never met her until that day. And I'm like, Sherry, you're hired. You are now my Stella catcher. But yeah, met a couple of the neighbors, and like some of them were like, oh yeah, we've seen that dog before.
Oh
like,
my gosh.
Sure yeah. So anyways,
Did you get the tracker?
I did,
okay.
But it's like, I think there's a little bit of a delay.
Yeah.
And like this was actually a shorter outing. My neighbor really did like help us a ton, because usually she could go out for like hours, and then I'll use the tracker to be like, okay, where is she? This time it was maybe under an hour that she was gone and came back.
Yeah.
All that to say, yeah.
And when she's gone, what is you going through? Are you concerned?
There's a level of concern. There's a bigger level of frustration, because it's like, now we're just stuck. Like we just have to wait in anticipation. And because I'm concerned, that creates more like I feel like frustrated that I have to be worried about this, you know? But there's really not much we can do aside from just wait for her to return.
Yeah.
If we try to chase her, she just runs. If I try to go out, I'll like shake her food bowl. I'll yell treats and I'll walk around in treats. It does not entice her. Somehow Sherry and her treats got her to come. I'm like, I don't know what that is, but so yeah.
And you said the gate thing, you were putting like a spring on the gate so that it closed automatically. Okay.
It just is one of those things where if somebody's not paying attention, it just might not latch.
Right.
And then I'm trying to remember if that's what happened or if she got through the garage, something. Anyways. And then, but yeah, I was saying we took her to the dog park and we were kind of like, you don't deserve to be here. You know, we were like, this is a treat for good dogs, not you. But I'm trying to think what else. Yesterday was Sunday. We took my in-laws to church and we went out to the Ram for lunch down on Ruston. We wanted to go to Duke's, but it was like super long wait.
Yeah.
Did you do the Ram often?
I did in college, and in college there was a Ram at UW in U Village, and we would go there like Sunday nights for trivia.
Oh, fun!
Which is super fun.
I love the setting there. I struggle with the menu.
Yeah,
I feel like they changed a lot. Every time I find something I like, they take it off. So it's like a personal attack.
They used to have the I think ostrich eggs is what they call them. That's not right.
Armadillo eggs.
Armadillo eggs. You've had those?
I haven't, but I saw them on the menu. And
Get them next time. They're so good.
Spicy?
They're like a little bit spicy. They're just delicious.
Okay. I did see those. Yeah. Anyways, I feel like that's kind of a summary of like the last 2 weeks.
Nice.
My head's a little different. Oh, I have something. You are looking at the brand new assistant to the head coach middle school chair.
No way.
Listen, folks, it's official
for next year.
For next year.
Wow.
I'm basically the assistant to the regional manager.
That's awesome.
Yeah. No, it's
is that volunteer or is it paid?
It's a little bit paid.
Okay.
It's like a little.
Yeah.
You get a little something. No, there's been, all this stuff with the cheer squad and who's coaching. And so I'm really, really grateful the head coach from last year is going to come back and coach again.
Yeah.
And then I'm just going to support her at practices and at the games.
And was she was not going to come back, right?
She wasn't going to come back.
Okay. So this year she's grooming you to be the head coach for the following year.
My thing is like, this is Alice's last year of middle school.
Okay.
And then we're into high school. And
right.
I don't know if I'll coach if my daughter's not on this team.
Right. Okay.
We'll see.
Would you be interested in head coach?
No.
Okay.
No. And really because I just don't feel like qualified.
Yeah.
I'm like, I cheered 20 plus years ago and I don't remember, the rules have changed, number one.
Yeah.
I don't remember a lot of things and I just don't feel trained at all to be a head coach.
Yeah.
So I'm really going to like help be a supervisor for kids and coach as in like encourage children and tell them they can do it.
Yeah.
That's my thing. But yeah, that happened as well last week. So
congrats.
Life's just happening.
That's awesome. Yeah. Can bring back your old moves.
Listen, I'm trying to bust out the old uniform. Get that bad boy back.
That's awesome. How much longer are your parents-in-law?
They will be here till July 13th.
July 13th. Cool.
So is that the weekend?
12 days. That is my STP day.
There it is.
I know. We're excited for dinner on Wednesday.
Yeah.
What can we bring?
Too. Just yourselves.
No, we'll bring something.
Bring maybe a beverages or something.
Beveraginos?
Yeah.
Okay, we can do that.
Yeah, I'm really excited for you guys. And I can't wait for you to hear all the names.
I need a family tree.
They have been doing that for you guys.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like they've been like, okay, so it's Rondi and Evan, and it's Austin and Brian.
Yeah.
And then Easton and Finn.
Right.
And Austin and Brian have
we should come on Wednesday with nicknames of our own. To really throw them off.
You call your mom something totally, because my mother-in-law is struggling a little bit. She wants to say Rhonda.
Oh yeah.
And it's Rondi.
Right.
And Alan.
Yeah. We should figure something out.
That would be
something
so
funny. A little prank.
Every time you keep saying it.
So we have some big news.
What?
We copied you guys. I don't know if we told you this already. We got a sauna.
I didn't know about this.
We ordered it. We placed the order. It's supposed to arrive today or tomorrow. And then, and did Chad set yours up? Did he build yours?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think we're going to do that.
Yeah. No.
How long did it take him?
A day.
Okay.
And then some, because we had to have an electrician or electrical. That was there was something. He'll tell you all about it.
Okay.
But yeah.
Cool. Yeah, we bought a sauna.
I'm so excited for you guys.
Very excited.
You're gonna love it.
I think we're gonna sit in it every day.
Mm-hmm.
That's just gonna be this.
We actually did that with my in-laws, like the mom and dad. We did sauna, cold plunge, cold plunge, and they loved it.
Nice.
Yeah. What kind of
you can fit 6 people in yours, right?
No, we had 4 plus Piper squeezed in with us, but that's a little crowded. Yeah. I prefer no more than 4.
We got a 4-person as well from Costco.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay, that's the one we wanted, and then we went to get it. It was sold out.
Oh.
So
we'll have to see how it is.
Well, I was gonna say you guys should check ours out on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And then we can come see yours.
Yeah. Should we bring our swimsuits?
Yeah, 100%.
All right, cool.
Okay.
Sweet. So what's new with me? I took some notes. It feels like it's been a while since
it has been.
Talked 2 weeks. Let me just make a quick note. I have a closing today. That's exciting. Oh, gosh. Kabir's closing on his house in Seattle.
Amazing.
Let's see.
Was this the one he bought from his landlord?
Yes, correct. Yeah, so he's already moved in. So a little bit more anticlimactic.
What do you do like closing gift wise?
I'm going to do similar closing gift to what I would normally do, and I'm dropping him off, or I'm meeting him there this afternoon.
Okay.
So let's see. Let me just read through my notes.
New listing, right?
New listing. It was a little slower this weekend than I would have hoped.
Yeah.
So hopefully that starts to get some traction. Okay. So inventory is crazy right now. Yeah. There's a lot of new listings, especially in that area. So there's more competition from a listing perspective.
Remind me, where is this at?
In Ballard.
Ballard. Okay. We like Ballard.
It's cool. It's a cute little townhome. Yeah. So 2 weekends ago, I'll just do the quick recap. We went to the Chateau Saint Michel concert. Super fun.
Well, who did you see?
Do you know Jordan Davis? Mm-mm. He sings the song "Buy Dirt."
Oh.
You know that song?
Only from your dad.
Dirt. Yeah, it's my dad. Yeah. So that was the impetus for this concert. My parents they got us tickets for Christmas to this concert.
Oh, okay.
And it feels like a long time. I mean, it was 6 months ago that we got the presents, and it came up, and it was awesome. So my parents got the tickets, and then a lot of my friend group was also there separately.
Cool.
And we ended up sitting close to each other. So my parents got a spot, like probably, a 10-second walk from my friend group. So we were kind of hopping back and forth the whole time.
Okay.
And then it was very fun.
Had you done this before? Had you been to
first concert at Chateau Saint Michel, which was very, very fun.
So fun.
Have you've been to a couple, right?
Just one.
Just one. And you said it was lackluster. I don't
know
who
the music wasn't great.
Yeah. Was it the Foo Fighters? No. Was it I don't know.
I keep wanting to say Goo Goo Dolls.
Goo Goo Dolls. I think that's right. I think that's who it was.
Just not their strongest performance.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they were tired.
I don't even know if I was paying attention to the music that much, because we were pretty far from the stage.
That's the thing.
And we were mostly just like talking and eating.
Picnicking. Yeah. That's how we were. If you're not in the right place, it's kind of all you can do.
Yeah.
Still enjoyable. Did you have nice weather?
Great weather. It was very fun. Very fun time. Did you guys park on site when you went, or do you remember where you parked?
We parked like across the street.
Okay. I made the mistake of parking on the property.
Yeah.
And it took over an hour to get out afterwards. So Brian and I just sat in the car. We thank God for the Tesla. We just put on Netflix on the screen.
That's amazing.
We started the show Bridgerton. Have you watched Bridgerton?
I've watched the first season.
Okay. I'm not into it. Brian's into it. I'm not really into it. So
I got into the first one, but then I was kind of like, yeah. After that.
I'm kind of bored with it. So that concert was very, very fun.
Nice.
And then next day we went to some breweries with some friends in Ballard.
Oh, fun. Okay.
Have you spent much time in Ballard?
No. So what's funny is when Chad was interviewing from North Carolina to Washington for the fire department, he had a buddy who lived in Ballard.
Okay.
And so whenever he'd come out, he had to come out like 3 times or so. He would stay with him, and he really liked that area.
It's cool.
As soon as we moved here, that family left Washington, and we knew no one.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's like our one kind of connection there.
Okay. It's cool. It's kind of like a city within Seattle sort of thing. So you could live there and never leave. Like there's everything you need, grocery stores and everything. It's beautiful. A lot of restaurants, a lot of bars, coffee shops, a lot of breweries. So did a couple breweries, and then I did an 80-mile bike ride that weekend, I think on Sunday.
And that was 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Is that what you said?
That was like 6 or 7 hours. Yeah. And then that was on Sunday, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
And then we watched House of the Dragon that night, which
Are you enjoying it?
I'm loving it. You haven't started it yet, have you?
I have.
Have you?
I've been watching it.
Are you caught up?
Mm-hmm.
Did you watch last night?
Yeah.
Nice. I love it. It's so good.
It's good. I never listened to your podcast. I wish I had, because I'm like, wait, remind me again.
Yeah.
Is what?
Yeah. It's a lot of names. Speaking of the crazy family names. Yes. Next level. There's so many names that sound so similar to each other.
Yes.
Like Bela and Rhaena and Rhaenyra and like Rhaenor and Laenor. And it's crazy.
It's too much.
Aegon. There's multiple Aegons, multiple Jaharises. It's crazy.
Yeah. I'm not sure I'm watching the right show.
Aegon, Aemon, Daemon.
I'm like, wait a minute.
Do those names not ring a bell?
No, they do. But I was like,
what did you think of last night's episode?
I liked it. I just watched it this morning. So I have this little like cheat streaming app that I can watch some shows on. And sometimes it let you in because there's too many people on it.
Yeah.
It's anyways, I thought it was good. I feel like this season it's not as gory or vulgar as other.
Yeah, like the baby getting their head chopped off, easy peasy.
Just a little walk in the park, you know. But I feel like that was actually really intense, man.
I agree. It's been less like super action packed, like fight scenes.
Yes.
Which I think the next episode is going to have.
I was going to say, do you watch the little like?
I watch it. I consume a lot of House of the Dragon content.
Okay.
I watch the show. I watch the next week on. I listen to 2 separate podcasts that describe or discuss each episode.
Oh, you are.
Then before the following week, we watch the previous week's episode to refresh our memories on it. So I'm all in.
You're on the show.
Yeah.
You are in it. Okay, that's interesting. I'm trying to remember last week's. I watched it this morning, like when I first woke up.
Yeah. Like last night's?
I watched last night's this morning.
Okay. Yeah. So last night's was when what happened?
She snuck and went to talk to her.
I like that.
And tried to make amends.
And wow. So it's Rhaenyra and then Alicent.
Melissa, what's her name?
Alicent. She realized from that conversation that she misheard Jaehaerys when Jaehaerys told her. Because do you remember that? It was the second to last episode of the first season.
Okay.
He was like on his deathbed,
yeah.
and Alicent walks in and is talking to him. He thinks he's talking to Rhaenyra, his daughter, but he's instead talking to Alicent, and he talks to Alicent about Aegon and the whole tale of fire and ice or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And from that conversation, she thinks that he's telling her that he actually wants Aegon, their son, to be the heir.
Do you think that's what happened, or do you think she knows she's at risk of losing the throne to Rhaenyra, and so mom is like, I know what he wants, but I'm going to tell everybody.
I think from that conversation with Jaehaerys, she took from it what she wanted, and he said the word Aegon, and he was hard to understand. He was like mumbling or whatever.
Yeah.
So because he said the word Aegon in that conversation, she took that as I want Aegon to be king.
Yeah.
And she ran with that.
Yeah.
And now from the conversation, last night's episode with Rhaenyra, and this to anybody who's not watching the show, I'm so sorry.
This is such a tangent.
Anyway, so from the conversation last night where they were, this is the first time they've talked, the two of them, since the dad died. They haven't had any conversation.
Right.
And Rhaenyra made Alicent realize that what he said in that conversation was he was talking about Aegon the Conqueror, not Aegon the Son. So Alicent, for the first time last night, realized that he actually wasn't telling that to her.
So here's the thing. When I'm watching it, none of that's clicking.
None of that's clicking. That is why it's helpful to listen to multiple podcasts.
Start watching with you guys Sunday evening.
Scene by scene, we'll explain what's happening.
Do you ever watch the show Lost?
Yeah.
Okay. I remember watching it, and like when we followed the storyline and it was clicking, we felt very smart.
Yes.
I feel like that with House of the Dragon, Game of Thrones. Like if I'm tracking the storyline and people, I'm like, oh, I'm on.
And that is why, and I don't track it unless I have captions on, because that really helps me.
Yeah.
And having the podcast to digest what's actually happening in the episode is really helpful for me.
This is really helpful for me. I'm gonna take that.
So basically, the takeaway from their interaction last night was now Alicent knows that Jaehaerys didn't actually want Aegon to be king.
Yeah.
But she doesn't care.
Yeah.
So before she was kind of pleading ignorance, like, oh, maybe he said that, maybe not. Now she knows, and she's still going forward anyway.
Because it's her son.
Because it's too late. Like, it's too much has happened. It's her son.
See, I always thought there's something with her dad trying to weasel his way and make everything. And so that's why I feel like she's trying to keep her fan.
Her dad, Otto's definitely orchestrated a lot of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think at this point, like, she doesn't really want war. Rhaenyra doesn't want war.
The ladies are against it.
And same with Rhaenys, who's my favorite character in the whole show. She's the other super blonde lady who's married to the Valerian.
Oh, yeah. She's older.
She
older. Was the aunt.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love her. She's I love her character.
Yeah.
Same thing. Like, all the women are trying to avoid war, and all the men are just like, go to war. Like,
typical.
Yeah. Anyway, I just love the show.
Yeah.
And we can talk about it every week now. We can start having our own little podcast.
How was your Game of Thrones?
Yes. Okay, so that was that previous weekend, and then this weekend, another bike ride. Brian and I went to a place called Misu for dinner on Friday night, which is a Japanese steakhouse.
Sounds like one.
Great, lovely.
Yeah.
I love Japanese steakhouses.
Where was it?
In Renton.
Nice.
Have you been to like the one in Tacoma or the one in Fedraway? Similar, they cook
like hibachi style. Yeah.
Yes, love it. Great meal. On Saturday, we went to the Seattle Pride Street Fair.
Oh, cool.
Which always a fun, interesting time. Have you ever been to a Pride event in Seattle?
Not here.
They're fun. Brian and I are never like we have friends that like go all out. You know, they'll go out 3 days in a row for Pride, which all the power to them.
Yeah.
We are not big going out people. Like, we'd rather be home than out at bars on a Saturday night.
Sure.
So we didn't do that, but we wanted to do like some part of the festivities.
Yeah.
So we went to the street fair, which was just like miles and miles of booths and vendors and stuff. And overall, super fun. There were some people are dressed like crazy, which all the power to them, no judgment. We saw 2 naked people.
Completely
naked, 2 naked men. And we're like, that's too far. That's too much.
Is that even legal?
It's not legal. It's not legal, but I think because it's Pride,
were they like painted at all?
No. Nope.
Just out there.
And there were kids around, and I just I'm like, come on, people. Like, yeah, I didn't like that.
Yeah, understandably.
Yeah. So did that, and then we went home. We watched the new Zac Efron movie. Have you?
Me too.
It was okay.
Kidman. It was okay.
It was an easy watch.
Can I just say something without? I don't want. Listen.
You don't want people coming for you.
I don't.
Zac Efron's face.
30 listeners to this. And Nicole Kidman. People and their cheek fillers.
Yeah.
It's getting to the point where I'm like, nobody looks normal.
Yeah.
You all look weird.
I didn't notice it on Nicole Kidman.
I noticed on both of them. I was like, it's alarming.
Yeah.
How many people are changing their faces.
So Zac Efron has stated that he had some sort of injury, like an accident, injuries type thing.
He fell on some Botox needles in his cheeks.
It's crazy. He looks so, I hate it.
It's so sad because he's only like 37.
Yeah.
He's a young buck.
And he's like historically one of the most attractive people out there. Yeah. And now I don't like it at all.
I don't.
Yeah.
And even Nicole Kidman, I was like, I couldn't tell if it was like the color of her hair felt not natural. Some of the scenes she looked great.
Yeah.
Other times I was like, I feel like Hollywood is just turning plastic.
Yeah, I hate it.
It's weird.
We're not body shaming here, but
no. Don't hear me on that. It's just
no, I'm right there with you. I wish people would embrace their natural selves a little more.
Yeah.
So, watch that. We were gonna watch a second movie, and I just fell asleep on the couch. So classic.
We've been crashing hard.
Yeah.
And early, and it's hard because it's like light till 10 p.m.
It is.
I'm like, golly.
So that goes into one of my points I wanted to bring up.
Okay.
So I really enjoy being on the couch watching TV or a movie when it's dark out. I have a really hard time with it, like being lazy when it's like nice and light out. Like I have and we've done a lot, like the last few weekends we've had a couple things going on, but like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday this weekend, we had no evening activities. Okay. So we pretty much like got food and then we were like home pretty early evening without really anything going on. Right. And so like one night we like sat outside for a while and hung out. And once we have our sauna, we'll do that. But I feel, I don't know. I feel like I don't like the feeling of just being on the couch when it's light and nice out.
Even if it's like 9 p.m.
If it's 9 p.m., it's fine. But if it's like 6 to 8 p.m., I don't.
That's an interesting thing.
Yeah.
I would love to dive deeper into that. A little bit. I wonder why. Do you think it's because you feel like because we're limited to the sunshine, we should be doing stuff outside?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Because
I struggle with feeling guilty if I'm not feeling like I'm productive and moving when the sun's out.
Yeah.
And the reality is like, that's hard to sustain.
Yeah.
And we have had, so with everybody visiting, it's been awesome, but it's also, you're kind of constantly engaging.
Yeah.
And that's really tiring.
Right.
So by early evening, we are all kind of, even the last few nights, my in-laws were like, is it okay if everybody we go and like read our books and just put our feet up, and we are like, oh, that sounds great. Like everybody's kind of happy to like do that.
Right.
But it is, I feel like that is a common thing for our area. I'd be curious if people felt like that other places. But I feel like in Washington in particular, because we don't have this weather all the time, we feel like we have to like capitalize
Probably.
on it.
I think we talked about this even last summer. You had a name for it. The summer. Oh gosh.
What did I call it? This is bad that we've had this conversation.
I'll go listen back to our summer episodes last year.
Speaking of like past episodes, we should have somebody, and I think I have a person who could do this, fact check things.
Oh yeah.
Shannon Johnson.
Shannon, please.
Because some of the things we talk about, she's like, no, you've definitely done that. That's wrong. And I'm like, okay.
Shannon, if you have any,
she could be like, you guys already talked about this.
We can start every episode. Start every episode with the previous episode's fact checks.
Yeah. Just from her.
Right. Because there's definitely things. I mean, there's been, I think, 2 things in this conversation today that I remember. I know we talked about previously. So that's okay. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. Anyway, so there's you watched This Is Us. We've talked about this.
No.
Right? You've never watched This
Is Us. No, because it's sad.
Okay.
I don't want to cry.
Okay. So there was something said in the show, and Kate, who's like, so it's basically triplets. You know the premise of the show?
Kind of.
It doesn't really matter. So there's triplets. Kate is one of them. And then, wow, I can't remember, Randall. And then there's the third one, and I can't remember his name right now. He's the one, Justin Hartley's character, whatever his name is. I don't know. But he is like an alcoholic. Okay. And he struggles with that. And one thing she says to him is, I think she says, you're better when you're busy. As in, when you're not busy, you end up getting more tempted into those things. Oh. I kind of feel that way in general, like with my mental health. Like as much as I like having like balance in my life of, whatever, like I think I'm overall a better person when I have more things going on. Yeah. Like I'm better in all areas of my life.
It's such a hard thing to balance, right? Because I was thinking the exact same thing, even today coming here, because I haven't been to the office the last couple of weeks with my family in town. And I was like, wow, it's weird that like I used to come here all the time. Like this was like a consistent thing. There would always be in the back of my mind, like stuff with work and these other things kind of on my brain. And there's like 2 parts to it. Part of me is like, I really miss activating my brain in that regard. Then there was another part where I was like sitting outside reading yesterday, and I was like, the fact that like this is all I have to do right now is like read a book. There's not something looming over me of some task that is waiting, or something that's coming up this week that I'm like, thinking about, that I also had a moment of like, I really liked it.
Yeah.
So it's a fine line. I keep telling people after the summer, I need to get something consistent work wise, because I'm like, my brain needs it. Our bank account needs it.
Yeah.
But I think for me, what I want to be careful of is like the term busy.
Yeah.
Because busy for the sake of busyness,
right,
I feel like leads to burnout.
Totally. Ooh. Tweet that.
Write that down.
That's great.
But there is something I feel like that when our brains are stimulated, when we're engaging with people, that is really fulfilling.
Right.
Versus,
I feel like it has something to do with like purpose.
Yeah.
Like having some purpose with our day is what brings fulfillment.
Yeah.
So yeah, like this weekend, like yesterday, it was pretty much, we got home from, we took Stevie on a long walk.
Yeah.
We got home at like, I don't know, 11 a.m., maybe noon.
Yeah.
We had really nothing else to do the rest of the day.
Yeah.
And it was a nice feeling.
Yeah.
But that's a rare feeling for us. Like we are pretty busy all the time.
That's right.
And not with like, and again, busy is an interesting word, but we keep our schedules full of family time, friend time, work stuff, fitness stuff, very full lives.
Yeah.
So when we have a day where we have nothing to do, it's like a nice feeling, but it's also kind of a weird feeling.
Yeah.
And we kind of don't know what to do with ourselves.
Yeah.
And that was how yesterday was. And a little bit of Saturday was that way too.
Okay.
And yeah, I don't know. Just kind of a weird feeling.
Yeah. I feel like that's a little bit of my last year since I've been not the managing broker.
Yeah.
It's a weird balance of there's moments where I'm like, oh, this is great because I've got so much other stuff going on. I have the freedom and flexibility. Like you got to sit and watch a show.
Yeah.
But then there's other times where I'm like, I feel like I am like losing time, slipping through my fingers, and I have nothing to show for it.
Right.
So it's a really odd thing. But it feels like maybe this is a common thing.
I think so.
And we're all kind of figuring it out.
What I found that I don't actually enjoy doing or doesn't bring value to me is sitting on my phone scrolling through social media. That doesn't, as much as that's like the de facto like thing to do when I have nothing else to do. Like, well, yesterday we spent an hour, we were sitting next to each other on the couch, scrolling through TikToks, and like at some point I'm just like, hey, we gotta stop, we gotta go do something else, because this is not the end. Like that's not the thing to do, I don't think, when you have nothing else to do. I think there's we got to figure out better things to do with our time than that.
I know. What is that? Is that like a hobby? What do you do?
I don't know.
Because sometimes that's one of my challenges. I'm like, what do we do with our time?
Yeah.
And we've got kids where like we can intermix things. And I know you've said like when you guys go out to eat or you're here for a good time, not a long time.
Yeah.
And so we're very similar. Like we will go to the dog park. We will work around the house and get stuff done. We will, like swim, sauna. But then there's still ample time.
Yeah.
Where we're kind of like staring at each other.
I feel like that'll probably be more common too going into this next age of the world. I've heard a lot of people say that with like AI and all the technology advances that we're seeing, it'll actually result, like, people are always like, oh, it's going to replace all these jobs, and it will replace a lot of jobs.
Yeah.
But the long-term impact is probably that people will work less hours, most likely.
Yeah.
There's like, that's kind of happened over the last 100 years. Like the more technology advances, the less things there are for people to do.
Yeah.
Therefore, there's less of a need to work 50 hours a week.
Yeah.
Like maybe people can get all their work done in 25 to 30 hours a week, and then they have more time for other things.
Yeah.
So then figuring out what to do to fill our time with that.
Right.
Figure out what to fill our lives with that time is going to be important.
That's healthy.
Yeah, that's healthy. That's not scrolling through social media, because that's never, like I said, like that's my go-to thing. If I don't have something else to do, that ends up being what I do. Like maybe I should just get in the habit of reading when I don't have something to do. I was going to
say that's one of the things that in this last year I have read so many books.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, ugh. And not that that's creating any more production. Like, you know what I mean? It's like I'm still sitting and just staring.
Right.
But I mean, I'm consuming, but it's fiction. It's not like I'm like, I don't know, learning something. Or I would be so curious to like talk to somebody who feels like they figured this out. Somebody that uses their downtime well and doesn't struggle with guilt of not being productive. I feel like I feel like I've even heard my friend Shannon say if she's got a little bit of time to herself, she's like, she will get stuff done around her house if I have a little bit of time to myself, I could easily waste it.
Yeah.
Scrolling. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I
have
just
to
feel
make
like,
an intentional decision not to do that. Like
yeah,
it's way easier for me to just scroll than not
Yeah.
to. Like yesterday I was I was just sitting on the couch scrolling. I'm like, I need to get out of this just
Yeah.
like endless scroll that I'm in right now.
Right.
So I think I just got up and like I did something in the garage. I like started
tinkering around.
tinkering, and I'm not a big tinkerer, but
Just in your workshop. Just start making stuff.
And then I found that after like, 5 minutes of doing something a little bit productive, I
Yeah.
kind of felt my brain start to be, I don't know, just start to feel
I think
better.
it's our brains.
Yeah. So yeah, that's been kind of the last couple weekends was a lot of bike riding, a lot of quality time with Brian, which is always lovely.
Yeah.
Hanging out, doing things, eating good food, and halfway through 2024.
Can't believe that. What episode is this?
I usually know going into it.
32?
30 something, 30, low 30s.
Low 30s.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go.
We're doing another podcast right after this. With
I
Nikki
know.
Ralphs,
Stay tuned.
talking about our favorite books.
Excited for that. What's your book?
Miracle Morning.
Okay.
Yours?
6 Working Geniuses.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
It's going to be great.
Thanks, Jamie.
All right. Thanks, Austin.